Greetings. We continue today with part 3 of the testimony through the word from Psalm 119, verses 73 through 80. We begin today with Psalm 115, verse 11. It says, "Ye that fear the Lord, trust in the Lord. He is their help and their shield." See, the only real question is a personal one. Do you and I have or have not the fear of God before our eyes today, right now, at this very moment? Don't answer with your words, because your works are already answering that question. So Psalm 119, verse 75 says, "I know, O Lord, that thy judgments are right, and that in faithfulness thou hast afflicted me." The word know, interestingly, is Hebrew in Strong's 03045, and it's the word yada, Y-A-D-A, that you hear sometimes. It's used over 870 times in the Old Testament. And it refers to knowledge gained through the learning process, by sight, by sound, or by discipline. This is the word which God used with Abraham concerning his willingness to obey God, even to the point of sacrificing Isaac, as we find in Genesis 22:12. And he said, "Lay not thy hand upon the lad, neither do thou anything unto him, for now I know that thou fearest God, seeing thou hast not withheld thy son, thine only son, from me." Since God has perfect foreknowledge, was this declaration for Abraham and Isaac's sake? Now that I know that thou fearest God? Did not Abraham's faith in God's promise cause him to be an overcomer in this time of testing and trial in his life? Yes, that's exactly what Hebrews 11:17 through 19 declares. By faith, Abraham, when he was tried, offered up Isaac. And he that had received the promises offered up his only begotten son, of whom it was said, that in Isaac shall thy seed be called, accounting that God was able to raise him up even from the dead, from whence also he received him in a figure. David refers to God's redemptive name in his direct address, "O Lord," all capital letters. David is acknowledging his need of a Savior, which is one duty of the shepherd. Further, he declares any correction the shepherd has given him has been for the grand purpose of preserving and protecting the sheep from destruction by predator or predators. So verse 76 says, "Let me, I pray thee, thy merciful kindness be for me for my comfort, according to thy word unto thy servant." I ask you, how many times do the scriptures teach us that we are dealt with most mercifully by God? He does not punish us to the full extent for every offense out of his mercy and pity. Rather, in grace and kindness, which is rooted in his great love for us, he patiently corrects us often, giving opportunity after opportunity to pass the test, which will make us better servants for our worthy master. See, knowledge of this fact causes and should always cause us to take comfort. That kind of means to give a big sigh of relief. This principle is easily understood because we all probably have been, or suppose ourselves to have been, in a situation of great peril from which we have escaped unharmed. It is the normal reaction to breathe a big sigh of relief and say something to the effect, "I'm glad that's over." This is an expression of the comfort that we have received. This kindness in delivering the servant from trouble occurs according to the word of the master of that servant. See, David took comfort in the fact that he had a kind master, and so should we. Verse 77 of Psalm 119 says, "Let thy tender mercies come unto me, that I may live, for thy law is my delight." This is the first of only two appearances of this word for tender mercies, Strong's 07356 in the 119th Psalm, while it is used 44 times elsewhere in the Old Testament. Its literal meaning has to do with a mother nourishing a child in her womb. In Psalm 119, 174, the second occasion appears where it is translated by the words longed for. The tender mercies of God are longed for. And I say, oh, what a word picture that David paints. Here the great warrior who slew the giant Goliath and won many battles on many battlefields declares that he needs God to protect him as a child in its mother's womb. The thoughts of the previous verses are included in this conclusion. I have feared the Lord and trusted in him for my protection and provision as I delight to obey him.